That's odd. Why isn't it letting me check that box? I'm not really a robot, even though I played one once in a famous sci-fi movie you may have seen. I'm Sean Young, the actress, and I'm not an android or a replicant either, I swear. No, if you really want to learn more about artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and the Internet of Things, you'll have to catch this upcoming edition of Soft Ingenuity podcast hosted by Bob Jelinas. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, I do sometimes dream of electric sheep.
Hello and welcome to Soft Ingenuity, the podcast from Soft Engie. This is actually our second podcast in this new series of information for technology professionals and all those who are wondering just how a lot of innovative and cutting edge technologies are affecting the world today. Specifically, we like to focus on some key areas that we have a lot of deep expertise in and hope to share a lot of valuable knowledge with you. Last time we got together, we talked about the Internet of Things and how that's changing the world in a lot of ways. We also, in future podcasts, are going to be looking into the depths of things like artificial intelligence. But today, we're specifically looking at an incredible technology that really is changing the world in a lot of very substantial ways, and that being extended reality. And there's a lot of confusion about extended reality, what it is, what it does, how it affects different industries, different markets. And I'm very happy today to be joined by Dennis Badoon. He is our delivery manager, and he's one of business unit leaders, specifically in charge of data and e-commerce ecosystems. And very specifically, extended reality is in his talent stack. So welcome, Dennis. We're glad to have you today. And to get started, my first question, hopefully, is the one everybody wants to know most, which is, let's all get on the same page by if you would, explain to us what exactly is extended reality. Is it the exact same thing as virtual reality or augmented reality? I mean, from your perspective, help us understand better just exactly what it is.
Thank you, Bob, for that question. You're absolutely right. This is the good place to lost about because actually when we're talking extended reality, we see it as the umbrella term for each of those: augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, plus those that are still to be created. Specifically, talking about them and shortly, augmented reality is when digital objects are overlaid on the real world. Virtual reality, when in contrast to augmented reality, when users are fully immersed into simulated digital environment. And mixed reality, digital and real world coexists, are interacting with each other. And talking more shortly, extended reality, these are all technologies that extend the reality we experience by either blending the virtual and real worlds or by creating a fully immersive experience. And additionally to say, according to different polls, retail experts say even 60% of retail experts say that extended reality is the mainstream for retail in the next 5 years.
Wow. Okay, well, let's dig into that a little deeper. Let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say that you were the head of in IT in an e-commerce company, or maybe a marketing agency or retail organization, something like that. You just said that 60% of the experts are saying this is going to be a mainstream thing and is moving more mainstream. Well, what specific shifts in sort of the whole marketing paradigm do you see emerging right now? And that's both in terms of online as well as offline retail.
Yeah, good question. We in Softenji believe that the biggest battlefield in a retail competition right now is the customer experience. Customer experience is the key to success in retail. Today, customers increasingly expect fast, easy, and omni-channel interactions, and they are actively making decisions based on how well retailers meet those expectations. Dramatic change in customer behavior has been on retailers' collective radar for years, but the pandemic accelerated it. And insights show that the pandemic and the subsequent response has blurred the line between digital and in-store purchasing for consumers, creating a challenge for retailers who have traditionally separated these channels. In-store and digital experience are for many retailers still treated as two distinct, separate channels. The mere fact that consumers now want to one single holistic interaction creates a major challenge for retailers who thought they had a few more years of runway to implement.
Okay. Well, let's kind of make that a little more real for the folks that are watching out there. As a consumer, what do these technologies look like and feel like? I mean, what happens? What is that customer experience really like for someone who has the ability to see and participate in these type of technologies? What's it like?
So yeah, there are plenty of implementation of XR technologies in retail, and of course, the most of them are still the subject for invention in the future. Just from the top of my mind, the main stream of XR is helping customers to visualize products wherever they are. So you don't need to go to the real shop to see how the product looks like. You just need to open your application on your smartphone or through your laptop and see the actually cool visualizing the project that helps you to understand whether you want it or not. So it helps to make fast decisions. This always also saves much time. Just imagine that to find what you exactly need 10 years, 20 years ago, you had to go through many shops, put a lot of time, had a ride to somewhere far from the place you live, and to get what you want. Right now, extended reality helps, not just helps, but facilitate your way of shopping.
Okay. Well, Dennis, can you give us some examples of what it would be like for a customer? Let's just say hypothetically they were shopping for clothes or shoes. What would that experience be like for them?
Good question. Right now, in Softenji, we have several clients together with each. We're developing the new technologies for modern shopping, both apparels and shoes. For example, shoes. Our client builds the marketplace where the user can get the exact model of his own shoes by just taken a photo by his smartphone. So the application creates the 3D model of his foot, and then using machine learning algorithm brings him the shoes, the products of different producers from different shops, which are absolutely fits to his foods. And the same as for apparel. Our another client has ordered us to create the application, which is creating a 3D model of the body of the person, and based on this 3D model, the tailor will, in a quite a fast way, in another part of the world, create good looking apparel for this person. So, and this apparel will fit exactly to the body of this person.
So the consumer just takes some pictures from different angles of their body, and then that allows them to virtually try on clothes.
Yes, yes. So, but try and close. This is the another application of XR in retail also. So I can also name the example from our experience. We have created the application that helps to see how rings are looking on the hand of their client
The jewelry.
remotely. Jewelry, yes,
Yeah.
yes. But you're absolutely right. The application for shoes and for apparels bring the experience, and first of all, makes a choice more accurate. So the apparels and shoes with which customer will get via digital channel will be the exactly one he needs.
Okay, well let's look at perhaps how this impacts the hospitality industry. What can virtual reality, augmented reality, and so forth do for hotels, restaurants, resorts, things like that?
I think for this sector, XR technologies and I guess even simple virtual technologies is the must today. So they're selling mostly emotions of how people may feel being in these places, in these locations. So being a user, customer today, you go to the website of the hotel or resort, you want
Hmm.
to see how it looks like to be there. You want to imagine yourself there. And
Hmm.
5, 10 years ago, and even now, oftenly you have only photos for it. But photos is not enough. They are not covering everything about the place. And current technology and very spread technology, affordable technology,
Hmm.
brings the possibility to create a virtual tour through the whole resort, so that the user could understand how to feel there. And I want to repeat, this is a must for them today, because users are. If I want to travel to some place where I have never been, and I want, I will definitely choose among many of them. And if I don't find the virtual tour there on the website of the hotel or resort, maybe I will skip it. Just skip it.
Okay, I've got another hypothetical example I'm just imagining in my mind right now. I'm thinking that potentially XR technology could also be of great benefit to the real estate industry. I mean, would it be possible that, say, someone's looking to buy a house to have their smartphone in their hand and be able to, let's say, preload models of their own furniture so that they could look in a house and see how their own stuff would look in a potentially in a new home?
Yeah, and this is also one of the most spreaded implementations of the XR today. In Softenju, we've created a product which calls Presentinar, and it's quite simple and complicated in one cup, I would say. So this is about interaction between, for example, client and customer, where the client and seller, sorry, where the seller can virtually show how the real furniture, for example, sofa will look like inside the real estate, inside the room of the client, just interacting via the laptop. And this is called augmented reality. I'm just placing as the seller the sofa in the environment of my user, and he see and he feel and he understand how this exact sofa will look like in his flat. And I guess this way of selling dramatically shortening the whole lasting of the selling process, saves time for both sides, I guess, of this process.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I also wanted to mention before we run out of time here that this technology is certainly not just limited to the consumer world. I mean, my understanding is that in the commercial and industrial world, they have some pretty important needs for it as well. Specifically, I would ask you if you would, like, what is this thing that we hear about known as digital twinning? What is that, and why is that important to a lot of organizations?
This is a very interesting question, and I have one opinion about that. I will tell it later. The What's digital twin? This is actually when we bring something from the real world into the digital world to obtain some features. For example, to collect data. For example, to present this visualization in a digital world to other person which are remotely located. If we're talking about real estate and office, we created the application for one of the global companies where inside this application, they have actually global presence, different offices in different places of the world. And inside one application, the any employee of this organization, even guest, can find the digital twin of the whole office, so that he could easily navigate not through the just rooms and corridors of this office, but also through the services which is presented inside this office, like delivery or coffee or computer service, something like that. So everything is located inside this digital twin, which is quite similar to what to the buildings that really exist. This is just a virtual 3D model of the office that the user can place on any surface through his smartphone, and interact with this 3D model, trying to find exactly what he wants to find. So digital twinning is to creating something inside digital world, but this exact copy of digital world will serve only to your needs as the user. For example, having the digital twin of the shop in the application of the user, he will everything inside the shop will be targeted to meet this exact user. So he will see, and he will be recommended, and he will be focused on the things he personally needs, or the algorithm think he need. And but one thought I wanted to share here about digital twin. So when we're talking about digital twinning, we are talking about and we imagine it as the different things. We in Saptenji more talking about hybridization. So when you have extension of the real world in digital, and vice versa, extension of digital world in a real world. For example, in one of the offices inside this case I've described before, we have created additional virtual showroom, not showroom, virtual working room, where people that works remotely virtually come and can interact with the people which that are inside this office physically. So first of all, people that works remotely feels that they're not alone. They can interact with each colleague, both remote and working in the office anytime they want, and vice versa. People that are working in the office are always see their colleagues that are working remotely and can just go to the virtual water cooler together and speak to each other. So when we're talking about digital twinning, we're talking more about hybridization, when the best from digital comes to real world and vice versa.
Well, that sounds great. Tell me a little bit about how these type technologies affect the areas of like training and maintenance. I have to imagine that, if you're going to be trained how to use or work on large pieces of equipment that aren't logistically feasible to be shipped around the world everywhere, or just too expensive to do that, or like in healthcare where different procedures and so forth. If you could do that in cyberspace, it seems like would be a lot safer than practicing on real human beings, things of that
Yeah.
nature. So how are these technologies affecting, the worlds of training and maintenance?
I will start from one thing here. So the experts and trainers which are actually able to teach is the precious resource within the world. And these experts can't be everywhere at one moment. They need to travel, lose much of time for these travels, and then teach somebody. Extended reality and technologies connected to that brings the possibility for these experts every day teach somebody in different places, brings organizations the ability to spread expertise globally without the necessity of long-term traveling of the experts which have this expertise. So virtualizing of trainings and the technology that gives immersive experience of these trainings is the key factor of how this sector will develop in the future. So when the one expert living somewhere in any place in the United States every day teaches people the same day from around the world, and moreover teach thousands of people at once, showing them how to interact with something virtually. I mean, operating some virtual objects in a digital environment. The digital objects are absolutely look like and even feels like in glasses, for example, HoloLens, and people feel it and understand more. The same about the maintenance. People that can maintenance high complicated machines can't travel to these machines around the world at once. So these technologies bring the possibility to shorten the period of reaction dramatically.
Excellent. All right. Well, I said we're about out of time here today, Dennis. I learned a lot here. It seems like extended reality really offers a lot in terms of allowing both employees, consumers, and pretty much everybody to have these real hands-on immersive experiences that many times just aren't physically practical to do in the real world. And that certainly has value and benefit. And I think from the beginning of our discussion regarding, let's say, marketing organizations and retailers, technologies like these can't help but improve their bottom lines and improve revenues as customers are allowed to have that much more touchy-feely experience of everything that they have to offer in the market. Well, I want to thank you, Dennis, for joining us today, and I want to encourage everybody to please check out our next episode coming up of the Soft Ingenuity podcast from Soft Angie.